大家好. It's good to see everyone again. I am coming as I am. So today is Tasty Tuesdays, and we are going to be diving into the honey of our life. Where are we getting sweetness from? And this Tasty Tuesdays talks not only about the honey that comes in a jar, or even raw organic honey straight from the beehive. It really talks about the tastiness of seeing our minds like a field. What are we cultivating? It's agriculture of the mind. So in Tasty Tuesdays, we are devoting our gratitude to the earth element. So the earth's flavor is sweetness, and the sweetness is the honey that I'm talking about. Flowers become nectar, nectar becomes honey, and there is also the other kind of earth, which is our fields, flowing our fields. And that opens the door to talking about the spirit of intention. The spirit of intention in the Taoist philosophy, mythological beast, it's like a yellow bird, like a sort of phoenix, but it doesn't matter exactly what it is. What I want to bring to this conversation is what this spirit enforces. So this spirit, the Yi, this yellow bird, it is a spirit of intention, the one that allows our attention to be anchored deep into what it is we want to be cultivating. So this is also why I added the cornfields, because corn is such a treasure in my Mexican ethnicity, me being half Mexican. And I went through so many different diets. I was always trying to hack my health until I realized, like, the very illusion of thinking that I am unhealthy, that is what I'm interested and curious about. Because the body is completely intelligent, but it's the pollution that we're giving it. So again, seeing our fields, what are like our fields of our minds like? So I prepared a little kind of like meeting agenda over what we're gonna be speaking about today. So earth devotion, what we're gonna be talking about on Tuesdays is this earth devotion and digesting the sweetness of life. So here we enter the Yellow Palace. This Yellow Palace is also the Yellow Court. It's the court where all of our master digesters sit in a round table and digest life. So this Yellow Court, think about it as if you are leading your empire, okay? This Yellow Court is the wisdom court. It's the one that is filtering, observing what is coming in and out of the system, how the process is going. So it's the full digestion of our bodies and of our minds. So how are we filtering? How are we processing? How are we excreting? All of this needs housekeeping. And when we are stuck in the pollution that I was talking about, housekeeping becomes buried beneath all of the pollutions of the daily life. So here coming back to this spirit of intention, we are seeing that every single thing that is out of place, we put it back to where it belongs, because we see that our bigger objective of life, this great masterpiece that we are all creating, is actually in this very exact moment. That is what the spirit of intention teaches us. So in this yellow palace, we can come back into our bodies and come back into the spleen. The spleen is close to the stomach, and the spleen is in charge of our digestion. The spleen is connected to the earth element, which is related to the flavor of sweetness. So in this kingdom, we see the seat of governance, and then we just open up to realizing there are a lot of things left undigested. The gut is just making this extremely apparent whenever we have gut issues. Yet, there are things in the psyche that are completely undigested. Why? Well, because it's hard to digest. It's hard to digest things that we don't want to see. Ever had a binge eating episode? It's just like, I just want to hide and do this. Becomes like a mission. So here we want to come back to balancing this sweetness in our life by digesting and observing what it is that we're putting into our system. So Yi, which is the spirit of intent, this is attention. It is a directed awareness. This is where the plow enters the field. So this is how we are cultivating our field. Every single moment. Like a goat, just ta 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 ta, climbing up the mountain, ta 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 ta, just goating about, doing its goat thing. The goat doesn't care if it's at the top of the mountain or at the bottom of the mountain. That's the cool thing. It's not about where we end up being. This is what the spirit of intention teaches us. Like, let's sit with that for a second and anchor into this earth energy. Letting go of all of this bling bling, fancy cars, cool hotel lifestyle, steaks for dinner, video. Let's go back to being a peasant caring for our fields and get rid of all of this noise and just see what that's like, being anchored in the earth. Wow, it's quite the plot twist. No pun intended. So our attention becomes our agriculture. Where is my attention going? Is my attention serving me? Am I caring for it? Am I tending to it? Is everything that I'm speaking really what I want to be saying? What footprints am I leaving? What deserves more attention? These are the little questions that are like the goat every single step going up the mountain. So here's sweetness. We're getting to the sweetness, this eternal sweetness. There is a quote by our dear friend Winnie the Pooh that said, Piglet, the best part of eating the honey is the moment right before eating the honey, when you're about to eat the honey. That is the sweetness that we're tapping into. And that's what I explore with Food and Mood, these supper clubs and the magazine. This is all ways of seeing how we can actually get the sweetness without putting anything at all in our system. It becomes like a virtual reality. So this sweetness that doesn't make us crave all of these different sugars. We're making life tasty. Life is tasty. We're just balancing our elements so our system can function the way that it's meant to be functioning, just like a great oak tree or a gorgeous whale or even the ant colonies. It all just functions. So that's tasty. So sweetness can be friendship, it can be purpose, it can be prayer, gratitude, laughter, beauty, tea time, meaningful work, belonging, and good questions to ponder, according to chat. Where is sweetness already present? Why do we overlook it? What is the difference between sweetness and stimulation? So these are really good ways to discern between the low quality sweetness versus the high quality sweetness. So this paints a picture where sugar is in the picture. And here I'm talking about processed artificial sugar, the great capitalist sugar, the consumerist sugar, the consumerist sweetness. It's just a role. It's playing a role. This sugar messes up with our real cravings. It messes up with our appetite. It messes up with our blood sugar. It's just one of those villains, you know? It's not, I mean, yes, we could say it's a bad guy, but I mean, we are the superhero of our life, so might as well realize that this villain really has no power over me. What's really interesting is that this villain is actually covering up for a lot of things that are happening. So when there's addiction, sugar addiction, you know, this feeling that you kind of get out of yourself and you eat in a way that's not as you would without all of these different flavorful, flavored, tasty, sugary ingredients. So in a way, this chemical does completely alter our system's functioning. But that's not an issue because we don't need to ingest it. But let's just be clear what it is that we are ingesting and how much, really. So I love to play with the fasting lifestyle. I've been kind of like eating shit a lot since I tried the past years because I feel I overdid it when I was fasting initially, and I kind of got like adrenal burnout because I would be taking in a lot of coffee. But that's also what helped me realize the sweetness of life. It just really connected me with this roomy, beloved, expansive sense of being part of life and of being nourished by life. But this is also, I guess, what what a tantric approach to living would be. I'm very curious what you all think of this because it's also non-duality, right? It's kind of like gamifying life, but seeing what is depleting our energy and what is giving us energy. So going back to this, the purpose of this episode, this introduction, is to really remind ourselves to be so grateful to have the earth element within us. And this earth element is expressed in our muscles, in our spleen, in different I mean it functions with the liver, you know, to purify blood. It's just a lot goes on with our earth element. And if you don't know me fully and you haven't really entered this world with me of the five elements, these five elements have, and the five spirits have been my framework to navigating life beyond any labeled religion or cult or teacher or guru. It's beyond all of that, and for me this is the Bruce Lee way of living. It's always coming back to the moment and learning from the moment, learning from our energy, being an artist of life, martial artist of the mind. And that's how we get to true tasty. That's another one, TT, true tasty. Guys, this was so lovely. Okay, so this is 15 minutes. Uh, it, it's gonna be weekly on Tuesdays and half an hour. But since this is an introduction, they're gonna be live streams. So if you want to come and get to know your spleen more, your stomach more, if you want to lose weight, if you want to get muscle, if you want to get rid of any of those narratives around body image, if you want to connect with more sweetness, if you want to release needing to be a caretaker and start exploring a deeper meaning in your life, if you want to have like a just more laid back relationship with food, or if you want to gain more appetite, the earth elements is where we learn from. So 7 a.m. Mexico City time, every Tuesday. I will see you here, and also submit your questions that are coming to you in the form attached. So every Tasty Tuesday we can go through some questions, some Q&A. That's kind of the nature of this day. Mamanchu.